Now, you remember Israel Folau back in 2019. His entire world fell apart because he decided to use Instagram. And people decided, who don't believe in God, to be particularly offended by somebody who believes in God, who believes that those who don't have the correct relationship with God wouldn't be able to go to heaven. I know, a little weird, right? You would think that it is Christians who get to be offended by not being able to be included in those that get to go and meet their maker, but we live, of course, in a world of point, bad human being. Well, as you know, he ended up getting sacked and then got a settlement out of the ARU.
Israel Folau has today been issued a sanction directing termination of his playing contract for his high-level breach of the Professional Players Code of Conduct.
Back then, Peter Beattie, when he was in front of the cameras running rugby league, said, no way this bloke can play the game that made him so famous for so many years. Of course, with the issues when it comes to social media posts, and as it stands, he will not be considered for registration. Well, after playing in Europe for a little while, after trying to find ways to get back into main game rugby league, Clive Palmer, among others, has tried to find a way for him to play rugby league for Southport, in the northern end of the Gold Coast. Here is Clive Palmer.
I would pledge every cent, every dollar and every waking moment of my time to ensure that he takes the field again.
But despite the fact that there was a signing ceremony, there were jerseys being worn and there was great celebration in Tiger Town, well, guess what? He will not be allowed to play until the Queensland Rugby League will register him, and they won't register him until they are absolutely sure that he has no further commitments internationally. But it's also been made very clear that the QRL has said that it cannot proceed with the registration approval until such time as the clearance is received. But here we go. Once international clearance had been given, Folau would be granted permission to play community rugby league, no higher. Should this bloke really get life for a conversation about eternal life? And I repeat, those who have the true right to be offended by anything Israel Folau has had to say are Christians who believe if they make any of those lists that they would be denied a place in heaven. For everyone else who doesn't believe in the afterlife, how can you be offended about what he said? What he said wasn't that you go to hell if you are those things, but you don't have a better relationship with God. Israel Folau should be able to play whatever sport he wants. If you want to cheer him on, good. If you want to sponsor him, fine. If you don't care and you want to look away, just do that.